It's time for Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. This program is paid for by Crockett & Sons Enterprises and does not necessarily reflect the views of this station. Hey guys, what's on deck for today?
We're here again on Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. When you see the C, you know it's me. When you hear the C, it's Crockett and AV. AV's out today, so you know, of course, I'm going to be out here handling it myself, kicking it with one of the greatest CEOs in the city, the new CEO of Civic, Miss Kionta Carter. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I need to take you around everywhere. That's a great intro. Appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us everything about Civic and what they do for the community. I know they've been in the community a long time. Tell us what's going to happen under your leadership.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come out and talk to your listeners about this great organization. Civic Heart has been around for 35 years.
Wow.
And it's not lost on me. Two, my predecessors before me, great leaders, and have passed down to me. So I'm excited about the next 10, 35 years of Civic Heart.
Yes.
I think many people have known it. It has, the good part about it is Civic Heart has gone through 2 name changes and people still know exactly what we do in the community.
Yeah, well, good work speaks for itself.
I mean, right? So, you don't take that for granted because a lot of people get lost. When you change the name, oftentimes organizations get lost. But
lose 50% of their people.
There it is. So, Civic Heart is still going and growing and expanding, and that's part of my vision coming in as the new CEO to grow programs and expand the organization. As we know, the need is always greater than our capacity to help and to give. And so, collaboration in the community, we can't do it alone. So collaboration and partnerships, and I'm looking forward to creating new pathways for partnerships as well.
Beautiful.
And also new funding sources, right?
Come
so
on now.
we can't do it on our own, and so it's really important for us to go out in the community and let people know what we're doing and how important it is and the impact that it's having on Houston.
Right.
Overall, impactful numbers, changing the rates of homelessness, and changing the rates of our uninsured or underinsured in our community, and also, knowing your numbers. We've got programs to help you know your numbers, so make sure that, you get your testing for HIV, Mpox, STD testing, and things like that.
Oh, wow.
So all of those programs are important for the health of Houston as well, as impacting Houston's youth and some of our programs that we have for our those that are experiencing homelessness as well.
Oh, wow. So speak to us about the programs. I'd love to hear more, especially about them, as you say, impacting the youth and people experiencing homelessness. So you actually help people get from being homeless to having a home?
Yeah, you might not understand, but what we found to be true is those that are what we consider episodic or traditional homelessness will use other means for homes, meaning they will go to the ER.
Wow. And
try to have somewhere to sleep or some medical care. You might not have a medical issue, but you just want to get checked in because it's cold outside. If we have that cold snap that we have sometime in Houston, or if we had or the floods that come out of, and so you just are trying to find somewhere to go. And so that's the strain on the hospitals and the workers too, because, you're dealing with people that just need homes, but also mental health care. And so that's where we come in. We try to find, our case managers try and find those that are visiting the hospitals and the emergency rooms more often than not, and case manage with them and find new places for them, new services, new resources, and essentially a place for them to live.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I think, you don't realize that. I think sometimes the homeless may have a bad reputation, right? You want to be homeless. This is the life you chose. Or maybe you're, on substance abuse or things like that.
Or facing a mental illness.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's really what the majority of the situation is. I'm facing a mental illness, actually, and I don't know how to deal with it, and I'm not getting the resources. So to hear that you're assisting those people that are homeless with getting the health care that they need? And does the healthcare cover mental health as well?
Right. Yeah. It's so important. Mental health, it's kind of a buzzword now that people are starting to just now focus on it, but it has been plaguing our communities of under-resourced, marginalized community, African-American, Hispanic communities that hit the hardest. And so once you start, even if you are insured, you may not be insured enough. So you're underinsured. So you still can't have your coverage that you need for your mental health. So if you are determining whether you're going to go in and have a mental health screening or try to put food on your table,
the food is coming.
It's first. It's conflicting priorities. So, our case management and our organization tries to step in and help there.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So tell us more about you were saying know your numbers. So tell us, how does that work with your organization? How are you assisting the community in knowing their numbers?
Yeah, we have a screening that for HIV and STD and Mpox in the community, and we have this. So. Go ahead.
That's a new word for me now. Tell me what's Mpox.
Monkeypox. Do you remember monkeypox was the?
Now I remember that word.
Yeah, right. So monkeypox.
Are we having an outbreak of monkeypox?
Well, I don't know that we're having an outbreak, but you would think that we were having an outbreak. You remember when they had it during COVID, and it was just the headlines in all of the news. Right. It didn't go away. They just stopped covering it. So it just seems as if, they cured it and they went it away. But, we still have to have the coverage. We still have to have the testing for people. And a barrier shouldn't be how much the test costs.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So
especially, if I don't have health insurance, can I be tested?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course we believe in that with HIV. Period. The end. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we still gotta deal with that as we continue to try and get those numbers down as they're growing rapidly in our community.
So we're playing our part.
Yeah, I see you, and I love it. So what other programs do you guys have?
Yeah, so I will say that we have we're opening a safe space in Third Ward.
What does that mean?
And so our safe space, we will have our HIV testing and our STD testing, but it's a place where it's a very inclusive place, so anyone could come. We will have resources there for you, workshops, as I mentioned, the free testing, or we'll connect with our partners there. It's just a place where you can go, and it's right off the metro, so you can get there, so you can feel safe and also secure and hear about and connect with other people. So part of our LGBTQIA plus family and any of those that are suffering or that are living with or have family members that are living with some chronic illnesses. We were in the process. We haven't unveiled it, so we want you to come back as soon as we get done with creating it. We want to come back and talk a little bit more about it.
I can't wait. I'm going to definitely have you back on the show for real.
Yeah, so it really is great. We also have a mobile unit that goes into the community, so if you can't come to our safe space, we can come to you. So we bring the mobile unit to you and also do testing there as well.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm familiar with that part.
It's a beautiful bus. You've probably seen us out in the community before. You can't miss us. It's beautifully wrapped and Civic card on it. So So the good news is that part of being in the community is building the rapport with the community. So when you're out and they see the van, they know, this is a safe place where I can have resources. I've made connections with the staff team. I've made connections with the organization, and I trust them. And they come up and they wave us down and try and get into get the care.
Absolutely, because they need the help.
They need the help.
And that's the agenda, to get the help out to the community. Our goal is to make sure that the entire community has access to organizations like yours to tap into the resources so that they can get the assistance they need to be better as a household and a family. So tell us more about your other programs, because again, I hear you got over 30 programs.
We do. We are growing, and you would think, oh gosh, you have 30 programs that should cover everything, and it just doesn't, right? So
there's always a new need to be met, and it sounds like Civic Heart is on the forefront of meeting those needs. Yeah,
we are. We're definitely trying, and we have meetings around what else can we do in the community? So we have programs that are mentoring. I just went to our mentoring event, and we were paired with our mentors and our mentees. And, if you heard some of the mentees speak, it was just thought-provoking. These young people coming in here, and some of them are coming in. Some of the mentees had only been here for maybe 10 months. English is a second language, got up, spoke beautifully, and credited, their mentorship with helping them adjust to new home, new families, coming in Houston, into the United States. So we've got a mentor program. We always need more mentors. So if you are interested in mentoring, I'm going to slide this in. Well, we need a mentors, civicheart.org. You can always submit. We're looking for volunteers and mentors. You can submit an interest form there, and we'll connect you with our programming so that you can mentor. We need people who can connect and have some time, but also can connect to the community as well. It's part of it is giving your time, talent, and treasure.
Right.
But we really are looking forward to having your time and your talent and helping someone else to reach down and bring them up as well. So.
Oh, great. So I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
We talked a bit about Civic Heart, and that's a beautiful thing. So tell us about you. We'd like to know a little bit about Kionta Carter. What inspired you to get involved with Civic Heart? Tell us your story.
I actually am from Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
And I moved down to Houston 10 years ago, working for a global nonprofit. Moved down here for that job and had worked there the entire time I've been here. And I moved right in time for Harvey. So I got an introduction into Houston and the weather.
Yes.
And I still stayed. I like Houston. I don't know how long you have to live and work in Houston to become a Houstonian, but
I understand. It sounds like you did 10 years.
Right.
It sounds like you're a Houstonian now.
Yeah.
Let me say it.
Yeah.
You are a
Right.
Houstonian.
All right.
To Houston.
I will take that blessing. Thank you.
Yeah.
But, I was getting to a place in my career with that organization where it was time for me to grow, and I was looking for a different opportunity. What I knew was during COVID, I was on the front lines with that organization in outreach, which was helping the community, passing out food, making sure people had enough to eat, partnering with Houston Food Bank and things like that. I enjoyed that work, and I saw the immediate impact. And so that's what I was looking for in my next opportunity, was to do that in, tenfold. And so a colleague actually reached out to me and said, hey, they're looking for their CEO is retiring this year, and they're looking for an incoming CEO. You might want to throw your hat in the ring. And I'm so glad that I did. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. Well, yeah, congratulations. I'm excited about you becoming the CEO. I see it based on what you're saying. It sounds like so many great, miraculous things are about to occur with the organization for the community, to benefit the community. So tell us more about the programs. I want to give an opportunity for all the programs to be highlighted, because the goal is for the community to connect to the programs, and we just don't know everything that Civic Heart does, right?
Right. I will also lift up our teen pregnancy program that we have, where we go into schools and mentor young girls and talk to them about the prevention of, and also work with them and their families. We also have a juvenile justice program where we work with youth that have been touched in some way by the juvenile justice system, which unfortunately when you talk about making systemic change,
right,
you want this, you don't want to have to do this program. But since that we haven't made the change because our families are still being touched by the justice system, we need to be in that space to help. And what do you do after you are not no longer incarcerated, or your family member is incarcerated? It's a family that goes that is incarcerated, not just you. So we have those programs. And my vision really is to move forward and try to be in our space and create. As we see things come up in the community, we want to act, but we don't always want to react, right? So we want to be thinking far ahead of what might people need in the future, and how might we help them, and who might we partner with. And so that really is my goal for this year. Another goal is to raise more money. We're trying to raise this year $350,000 to help with the expenses to create and expand our programming. The need is great.
Right.
So we allocate all of our funding where we need to have it in order to help the community. So we've got programs to help the family. We've got some that literacy programs. We've got after school programs. We have day camp programs. So many different programs.
Yeah, I want to touch more on that mentor program. So tell me, how does that work? And tell me some of the stories about from mentor to mentee. How is that working, and how is that benefiting not only the mentee but the mentor as well?
Yeah, there's one young lady who spoke, and I'll actually tell you about two. There was one. His first language, it might have been French. I don't speak French, so excuse me if he hears this, but right, that's about all I know. But he was so elated in connecting with a mentor in our program to help him get acclimated to a new country, learn the language. What do? You need to get in school. There's a bullying aspect. You don't speak the language, things like that. And he had a mentor that spoke French or the language and helped him acclimate to United States. I think we take for granted because we're all here, and you don't go to a different country as a child and try and live and make it and not make the mistakes. And so same for another young lady. She it's what is important. She talked about her schoolwork, making through her schoolwork. Her mentor was a student from U of H, and her mentor helped her. She helped me with my makeup. And so, but you don't realize she's a teen girl. Right. So she was into makeup. So you don't realize that she needed that in her life. So it's not just always, let's get you ready, college readiness, workforce development, things like that. We do those programs and mentor that way. But sometimes it's just, I want a friend and I want to talk about makeup. Right. And she started with that, and she moved on to, she also helped me with college. So, I think, you take for granted. I think sometimes we think we know what the mentees need, and they will tell us what they need. So,
oh my God, that's a beautiful thing. That's a life lesson to actually listen. Right, listening is better than doing it sometimes. Yeah,
absolutely. I think I was there at that other program, and I ran into a volunteer, and he said, "I got to just tell you my story," and he was someone who had a full-time job, making good money, was laid off, found himself living under 610 and was homeless.
Wow.
And found his way through case management to Civic Heart. And from there got into our self-sufficiency program, which helps with homeless and making sure that they find the resources that they need, and then found a way into, we helped him with securing a job through our workforce development program.
So you have a workforce development program where the homeless can actually get employed.
Yeah, so we will work
and not just the homeless, anybody.
Anyone.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Speak on that part.
Yeah, so
that's important.
It was important. He'd lost his job, and then how do you get back on your feet? You don't have an address.
Right.
You don't have a place to live. You don't have your resume. And so, how do you get back on your feet? So we help you start from where you are to build back your life. And so helped him do that and get a home. And so he was so excited to tell the story. Let me tell you, and he had come back to volunteer at one of our events.
Oh, praise God. Praise God. See, those are that is the work that needs to be recorded, told, and showed as you out here definitely reaching out for funding, because we need more of those stories to happen. Yeah. So
I agree.
Tell me about any other programs that you have.
Yeah, I
think
it's
so many to highlight.
It's so many, and I think I've hit most of our programs. We work with those HUD housing as well, which is part of some programs that we do is our big supporter and funder for us. But, what we are doing is holistically helping you and your family. So whatever you need as an adult for workforce development or education, or your child needs, or We've got some of our staff that go into the community, into the high school, Jack Yates and all this, and they talk with the boys.
That's good.
And they mentor them, and they go through things like smoking. I talked to one of the staff, and sadly, he was going through his conversation with the boys, and they snuck down and had a vape. And they had to have a conversation, and I just thought they're vaping in schools, but he couldn't break the habit. He knew he shouldn't, but vaping is addictive, and so his parents let him vape. Yeah, so his parents let him vape. He was vaping at school, so they had to talk about that and the consequences of some of the actions. And so it's really important to have some of those mentors go into the schools for that.
And it's challenging as a mentor when talking with a young person. And the issue that the young person is facing is an issue that is given by the parent. Condoned by the parent, I should say.
Yeah.
I was mentoring a young kid, and he was he was single digits, I want to say 8, 9. They playing football, and I took him and a few more kids to a place to hang out, and I let them go to the studio and make some music, right? And he kept calling himself a young gangster, right? And I said, okay. I say, do you understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
He was like, well, yeah, I'm just a young gangster. I said, do you know what a gangster is? And he said, well, no. I said, well, if you call yourself
right.
a gangster, a real gangster will walk up on you and test your gangster, man. So, you could choose something else. You ain't gotta say you a gangster. You could come with something else, right? And they went back in the studio, redid the song. They did it different. Okay, cool. So I take the kid back, and I'm at one of the football games, and the mom was at the game this time. And when she walked up to the kid, she gave him a hug and said, "You did good, young gangster."
Oh,
I said, wow.
There it is. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he learned it.
Right. So I'm getting the understanding that sometimes it's challenging when it's being taught at home as the right thing, but it's not the wisest thing for the child. And you can't, I can't come in your house and change how your house functions. But I can, encourage you to be the wisest person you can be in spite of what environment you're growing up in. Yeah, so I that's why I was asking. I'm big on the mentor thing because I do a lot of mentoring myself, young. I kind of specialize in mentoring business owners, though.
Oh, right, which is important.
Yeah.
Because not everyone goes through the workforce development. You might be a forklift driver, but you don't always want to be a forklift driver. You have aspirations to be, people are innovative.
Yeah.
Especially what we've seen in COVID, people have lots of ideas. Yes.
Man, folks had a job before COVID and ain't never went back.
Yes. Yeah. So, but how do I start? We've had questions. How do I start my own 501c3? How do I start my nonprofit? How do I start my own business?
Oh, my God.
Those are all good
real
questions.
Yeah. And do you guys have a program that walk people through the steps of that?
That's a great question. I've just been asked that in the last coming weeks, and that's typically what happens. Someone asks, it would be really nice if I had the know-how to start this. And then I start to go look for how might we partner or who should we? So I had some partners in the community to help that particular person, but that's another part of our vision to expand it.
I'll say this. I know that the Urban League definitely assists with that as well. As I have 7 companies. So in my community, if 40 to 80 people anywhere in that number ask the same question, then I just open the business to meet the need.
Yeah.
So I've been doing business consulting and assisting people with those type of things for about Oh my God, about 15 years.
Oh, okay.
But I get it. So
Yeah.
I let's just say I understand the question and I
Yeah.
understand the business model. If the community consistently asking for it, then it's a need.
Right.
In my tax company, I have about 800 faithful tax clients.
Okay.
And if they get to consistently asking for something, I make sure that they're not going through the issue anymore, and I just implement a solution. So I love what you're doing. I'll tell you, when I first time I sat down with a nonprofit, not really the first time, but I'm gonna say for me, the first time I seen something that looked like what I do, right? I sat down with the Urban League. I had them on the show.
Right.
And they was talking about what they do is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's for free to the people. You walk in and you say you want to be a business person, and you have your idea. They show you how to develop that idea into a business plan, then how to submit that business plan to the SBA for funding.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's huge. You'd have to pay someone to do that.
Tremendous amounts of money.
Yes, yeah.
And they do that for nothing. So I
Right.
was like, that's a resource that the community needs to connect with. Like you're saying what you do with the homeless here. Like you're saying what you do with healthcare here. Like you're saying what you do in all these ways with the testing, with the screening, making sure people know their numbers. This is something that the community has to know about. What you're saying, what you do with the young people in schools. The community needs to know about that. This gentleman that lost the homeless story, oh my God, he lost his job, right? Which depression, and just in case everybody don't know, that depression is a mental illness, and that's depressing to lose your job to the point where you become homeless and
Absolutely.
you living off 610. To come from that to connecting with an organization that walk you to the steps to get you back into being able to have your own place again, right? And then for him to come back and volunteer. So God is great. I love hearing things like that. So we got a couple seconds. We want you to just give us your website, tell us who you are, and close it out strong for me.
Thank you. I appreciate my time here today. My name is Kionta Carter.
Yeah.
I am the Chief Executive, Chief Operating Officer at Civic Heart.
Okay.
And please go to our website at civicheart.org for more information. We are also looking for donations. There's a button. Please click the button. Any donation will help us and help those we serve in the community. So thank you for my time here. I appreciate it. Any questions, please reach out. If you need help in the community, please reach out. If we can't do it, we'll find someone who can for you.
And I love that part, as you say, we connect with the resources in the community. In order to, if there's a question and we don't have the answer, we're going to connect with the resources in the community to provide it. That is a beautiful thing. So, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm excited about it. Everybody knows it's Crockett. When you see the C, you know it's me. When you hear the C, it's Crockett and AV. Every Saturday, 10:30 to 11 o'clock. Definitely reach out and touch us if you need anything. 281-578-2690. That's wrong. 281-576-19. Nah, that's wrong too. AV do it all the time, y'all. So 281-576-9119. That's the real number, 281-576-9119. When you got too many companies, you got too many numbers, right? Give us a call. We're going to take care of you if you have any issues that you're facing. All right, y'all. Beautiful thing.
Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. This program is paid for by Crockett and Sons Enterprises and does not necessarily reflect the views of this station. For those needing business, healthcare, insurance, tax, or other essential family needs, call the Crockett and Sons Enterprises corporate office, 281-576-9119.